To my YouTube friends, today's episode is about hallucinogens. I think it's very important, and it's a little overdue that I give this report, or at least my end of it. Now, as it turns out, I'm making a video. That's my friend Nora. Anyways, as it turns out, I'm highly experienced in this field. The field of hallucinogens, that is. So, where am I going with this, right? Better be going somewhere, Matt. Anyways, I think it's important. I think, well, I know the reason they are so outlawed, right, is because if you were to go drop a few tabs into, say, a presidential candidate's, coffee in the morning, by the middle of their day, their whole agenda is going to change. It would have to, because most of those people are cold-blooded bastards. And bottom line is, when you open up certain areas of your mind to accept and to see things that you otherwise wouldn't, it's like, if you've never done it, it's very hard to explain, but I almost feel that everybody, before they die, should at least experience some sort of, even mild form of this state of mind, because it's almost like it's like a cleanse. It's like you can wipe the slate clean almost. What it does is it shows you exactly who you are, and it shows you exactly what you look like to other people. Things that you might not generally see, but it will show this to you. And that is what keeps people coming back to it, because you realize that there's another way of thinking, and there's an out of the box way of thinking. That there's a reason that there's laws against this, because too many people start thinking on this different way, and when it's just dangerous. It's dangerous for those that are in control, who want to do things like stay in control. It's dangerous for them. This free way of thinking. And it's not a free way of thinking, it's just not their way of thinking. That little break was just like 2 hours. Which is good, because maybe I have a little bit more of my wits about me. Although in a battle of wits, I guess maybe I would be an partially unarmed man right now. But, so, what was I saying? If we could heavily dose the people who are every day trying to make this world more of an oppressive, just awful place to be for our kids and grandkids. We need to dose those people. Heavily dose them. Somebody like Hillary Clinton needs to be fucking lobotomized with LSD. That's what needs to happen there. Completely reprogrammed. That is why they call them programs. Because it literally is programming. So today, before I went on my little journey tonight, I had the pleasure of talking to about 10 or 15 kids that were part of a football team that got their asses kicked today by Nantucket. Nantucket, the Whalers, I guess, team kicked their ass today, 18-0. Who gives a fuck, right? Anyways, so I'm talking to these kids looking around for their teachers and shit, and I'm like, a lot of what you have been told in school is bullshit, and let me tell you why. And I started talking to them about the flat earth. I started talking to them about how if you have gravity that's supposedly fighting against the centrifugal force that should be at the equator, besides the fact that the equator shouldn't have any land, it should be all water because of the centrifugal force, right? But I also figured that on a globe, at the top and bottom, since there is no centrifugal force, gravity should be like extremely heavier on the top and bottom. Just a whole bunch of things about it that don't work, right? So there's these questions that I'm putting forth to these kids about, like, how come, I see the same stars every night that it's starry, no matter what time of year it is. If I'm going around the sun, shouldn't I have a different view at some point? And never mind that, what about the people at the bottom of the ball? Shouldn't they have a completely different view of the sky? But they don't. They can see Polaris just like we can. Like, by the end of it, the kids are saying, what's your channel? What's the name of your channel? Because I had the 12 string, so I was passing the guitar around and letting them play the guitar and just, but I'm telling you, I had a hold of at least 5 or 6 of those kids. I had their attention, and they were hearing what I was saying, which is good, because that's the idea, right? We get better and better at being able to quickly, with a little bit of time, do the best you can to put certain questions forth to people that will help to deprogram them. Because it's all about your way of thinking. If you never thought about it, then you wouldn't know, right? So it's like that movie Inception, you need to put the idea into their heads. They think it's their idea, just the simple fact that just because somebody with a straight face that is your authority tells you that's what it is, you shouldn't just blindly follow it. I guess that's what I left these kids with. I was like, I said, if you look, you will find that a lot of what you're being told is just simply not the truth. And I hit on a couple of subjects. I said, they'll have you believe that there's, race riots and race wars about to start. I said, don't you believe it for a minute. I said, you look around at your classmates and these kids that you are growing up with. These are the people that you're supposedly going to have a race war with. I'm like, no, that's bullshit. I'm like, and I'm trying to do this without coming on too strong. Right? Because I don't want one of the teachers to get wind. And a few of them, they knew. And I'm surprised nobody said anything. They let me go, because I was low key about it. Like, I kind of got in a small group of the kids away from everybody else and was just talking to them about this stuff. And many of them were like very adamant about looking into these things and saying, wait a minute, like, yeah, that's interesting, And I'm like, it's more than interesting. I'm like, it's part of the key to the answer to the questions that we should be asking, And I think the questions that we should be asking is, why are we here? And what are we supposed to do? Because it can't be just to fight with each other, and it can't be just for one group to control the other group. Doesn't that get old? It's time for a new program. It's time for a new show, a new act. So, I advise anybody, get your hands on a good amount of psilocybin mushrooms or some really nice fresh tabs of LSD. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, and don't listen to what they would have you believe about you never coming home and never being the same again. And I'll tell you, if you're never the same again, it'll only be for the positive side. I promise. But hey, don't take my word for it, man. Go check it out for yourself. Peace to all.